So we have a large box to unbox today. Yes, my new Vegas wave has arrived. So for this week's Fallout Friday, let's take a look. I had heard about this, so apparently the cards are punch-out. A little annoying, make me do their work, but I'm sure there's a perfectly good reason for that. Alright, so for this I have 2 core boxes, the Ranger Platoon, top brass, and for the Legion, 2 Legion core boxes, a couple more, the Burned Man, the new Vegas stuff, and then the robot. So, let's see what we got here. We have Caesar's Military Command, Vulpus Inculta, Lucius, and one guy who's probably just a generic leader. Kaiser's Legion Core Box. We have 2 of those. And a pretty beefy amount of models here. A Centurion, a Decimus, a Legion Explorer, 3 Primes, and 2 Recruits. So that's 7 models. Oh, and the other leader is Legate Lanius. Oh, Lucius and Legate Lanius. Too many L's, they got mixed up for me. Ncr Top Brass. So we have Chief Hanlon, General Oliver, and Lieutenant Grubbins. Kaiser's Legion Veterans. So, ooh, double makeshift sword guy, kind of cool looking. Vexillarius, Hound Master, 2 Mongrels, a Praetorian Guard, and a Legion Scout. Cool. This will be the 2, 3, 4 Robo Brains that I got. The domes are completely encapsulated, so we'll just be painting those black since there's no detail. But that should round out my robot forces nicely. Okay, so we have Ncr Core Boxes, 2 of those. 1 Veteran Ranger, 1 Heavy Trooper, 2 Patrol Rangers, and 3 Regular Troopers. So that should give us a nice, since we're doubling up on those, a nice supply of Ncr. Oof. I do hope I have enough room in my current storage for them. Ncr Ranger Patrol. So we have Civilian Ranger, 1st Recon Sniper, Veteran Ranger, and 2 Troopers. This will be the Burned Man, the promo for this wave. And that is it for models. Okay. So, this is the card pack along with the wave, the expansion itself. Reduced sized models. Apparently these are classified as reduced sized models for international shipping customs. Okay, so looks like I'm going to have a bit of time punching out cards. Too bad I didn't get some blank back ones. That would have been nice. So yeah, I'm going to have to go through, punch a whole lot of cards out here. It's going to be interesting to see how these feel alongside the existing ones. Whether or not they'll be able to be told the difference. I do tend to sleeve mine, but may become more of a necessity due to this. Let's see, pulse gun, Tesla cannon, dog tag fist, long fuse dynamite, light machine gun. There we go. That's something I want on my super mutant in my current role-playing sessions. Blade of the East, we got a unique one, Vertibird Blade, Rebar Club, Incinerator. It's another Super Sledge, Missile Launcher. Looks like these are also kind of, I don't know if they're in a particular order or not. Securitron stuff, Marcus stuff. Right, this is various creatures and stuff. Anti-material rifle. 3 base damage. Short range 1 black. Long range a black, a yellow, and 2 greens. Adds an additional armor break. Minimum short range is orange, so it can't be used point blank. And it's a once per turn firing. On a crit, crit is only, well, it's once per turn, so yeah, 2 charges makes sense. Long range crit only, an additional black, making it 2 black, a yellow, and 2 green. Still 3 damage. Additional armor break, and if a Coke bottle is rolled, stun. Yeah, because it just hits you with a massive bullet. Nightkin, new Ncr, and Kaiser Legion rules. Kaiser Legion cannot use stims, cannot wear power armor. Okay. Ncr model with a reaction token is the target of a shoot action and may discard the reaction to add a piece of cover against the shoot action. Interesting. Cannot be used at the same time as using luck to dodge. Nightkin are super mutants and have bonus rules. Then we got the AI cards. Yeah, I'm gonna have to punch a lot of stuff out. We've got Rex, Raul, Ed Veronica, lots of cool stuff. 2 versions of the Securitron. Let's see, Lily, the Burned Man, Nightkin, Tabitha, Marcus, voiced by the incomparable Michael Dorn, Arcade Ganon, Boone, Cass. We have all the NCR stuff. And we have the Legion stuff. Alright. So that's all the cards that I'll be spending a week punching out. Let's see. So that's just the packaging part. And let's see, the Ncr Expansion. So we've got... I've heard this has a nice assembling and painting section. So that is nice. Oh yeah, that's very nice. This is all based on Army Painter paints. There's a lot of online resources for determining different ones, but, you know, comparable and whatnot. And they've gone for a non-metallic metal for the most part. They do have, actually no, there's plate mail. It looks to be the metal they're using on the heavy armor, which is a unpowered suit of T-45 basically. No frame. They're just wearing T-45 armor plates that have been hammered in. Little check boxes. I guess you can check when you have them, or even better, when you've painted them. So that's cool. I'm gonna not give away information here that may be... So we've got new scenarios. Yep, new story stuff, that's cool. Yep, a whole bunch of additional missions. Alright, so that is the contents. I'm going to go ahead and break this video up into two more sections. So that's the basic unboxing. Then we're going to go ahead and unpack, clean, and do each faction on its own. So we will pause and then go for that. Okay, so we're going to do the Legion, but first we're also going to do the bonus models that I got with this. So looking at the Burned Man. He's a little hard to see because this is unpainted, but he has some good detail. His wrappings, pistol, very light flash on the arms there, in between the legs, what we're used to seeing. Good texture on his pants. You can even see the wrappings that shows through just underneath his legs. Now some people have said that this looks to be a different type of resin, and it is paler. It does seem to have some flecks. I've got some of the older sprues here. And you see there's not much in the way of give there, whereas this I can fold and it doesn't break. If I try that with this one, I wind up popping this guy off of his pieces, but I still do the same, but there's a lot more. Yeah, see, it snaps if I do that. I can kind of worry this without it fully breaking. So it does look to be maybe a slightly softer mix on the resin this wave. We'll see how that goes with putting it together. As far as the base, we've got bricks, cinder, part of a cutout, maybe I think that's supposed to be a tire. Hard to tell from the positioning. So that is the Burned Man. Now for the Robo Brains. Just open this one pack. Each one comes with two in a handy Ziploc bag. So just be careful I don't lose any parts here. The bases, okay, it looks like, yeah, it looks like all of the treads came loose from their sprues, bar one. But so we can see the treads in there. I don't want to take them out just because if I put them down, I'll wind up losing them, knowing my luck. Base is some, yeah, just tiled stonework and dirt, so it'll be pretty easy to paint. Then for the body, we've got plug and play arms there, and then the treads just line up mostly with this back wheel and then connecting to the two others. Definitely the more Fallout 3 New Vegas looking ones, but still very cool. I shall have to get those painted up quick so I can maintain my all my robots are painted status. So I'm also painting up all the Mirelurks so I can maintain all my critters are painted. Okay, so let's start with the basic box, core box here. We'll just open the one of them. We know I have two. So this should have one Centurion, a Decanus, a Legion Explorer, 3 Legion Primes, and 2 Legion Recruits. I'm going to be honest in that I'm not going to be able to tell them apart from Adam. Fortunately, I have that guide in the book for any issues. So, box is definitely packed full. So let's just take a look here. I will say at least the parts aren't popping off these sprues so far. So 2 bases here, one of which has an arm attached, which must be to this guy. So we've got 2-part arms slotting in. That looks pretty easy to deal with. And it's not even, yeah, not even 2-part arms, it's just a running arm. Lots of flash on this one. I'll be easily pulled off, but a lot more you can, let's see. There we go. Sorry about that. So yeah, you can see a lot more flash on this particular one than on this one. I can see a bit of dirt, a little shininess here, maybe mold release. I'll be washing all of these, obviously. Looks like his back foot's going to be kicked up in a running man pose. Might be hard to see the detail on these because of the slightly paler resin, but they are there. So that's nice. Let's go ahead and put these back in. And we have these 4. Alright. Oof. Alright, yeah, right there. That's definitely a weaker resin there, more flexible. Now, that can be good or bad, depending on how it, I mean, it springs back pretty well. So, as far as damage to the model, it means it won't take, if you drop the model, it'll bounce more than likely than break. There's, the details are still good. We've got riveting and stitching on the chest plate and the shoulder pads, belt details, straps, all of that. So the details don't appear to have suffered from the new resin. A little more flash again than I'm used to. That may be due to the change. May just be due to the molds for this particular series. So, something to keep an eye on. Ooh, nice cookery on this guy. Base is fairly plain. Nice helmet on this. I mean, the individual definition on the plume on this guy is great. So the details are definitely there. It's just a more flexible resin mix. Yeah, I mean, you can see each individual strand on the head plume. And then like a banner on his base, so that's cool. Yeah, it looks like this one did actually separate a bit from the base. But it's got a arm on this pipe piece that you cut off. And then he's in mid-attack, I'm guessing. Again, the head plume, oh, this is all feathered and stuff. Oh, that's very nice, very detailed. Hopefully that's being picked up there. Like I said, with how pale this resin is, the light might be washing it out a bit. But again, the straps and everything coming off of his belt and kilt all look good. Very nice makeshift heavy weapon looking deal here. So that's cool. This base has corrugated metal and an I-beam, I guess. So sticking up. The cookery base just has some stonework. A lot of action poses in these Legion models. A lot of movement. So that's nice to see. Because these guys are much more, they're not heavily armored from their look. They're a lot more melee stuff from what I've seen. So having them have that motion, I think would look good. Okay, fire axe. Almost looks twisted when you look at it from this view, but it's not. It's just the way it's being held. Cinder block base. Okay. Yep, good details. Not a lot of flashing on this one. A little bit on the back foot here. But definitely, looks good. Another spear. Again, flexible resin. Some helmet. Looks like an NCR helmet left on the ground. Old school 10mm pistol. Good detail on, lots of detail on the chest actually, looking good. Yep, just regular old base. Pump action shotgun, running pose, the same Legion armor details. I mean, it's still a lot of detail even with the new resin, so I think it's just a more flexible mix, honestly, which, good or bad, it's kind of individual choice. I myself like a little bit of flex in the resin, simply because then I don't have to worry about the models getting damaged in transit or being knocked off a table and shattering, which can happen with the brittle resin. But it has definitely changed in this last run. Alright, Veteran Wave. So we've got Vexilus, the Hound Master, 2 Hounds, or Mongrels, Praetorian Guard, and Legion Scouts. A lot of unique people here. First up, Puppy Dogs. Looks like these are 2 duplicates. Nope, they are in unique. So we have 2 different guys. That's nice to see. On the same sprue even. Alright, and yep, only one has got a separate tail. So it looks like a leap. Yeah, leaper. And yeah, I like that. Quite a bit of flashing in between on the leg here on that one. And upper body on that one, so we'll just have to, once I clean them, a lot of flashing comes off in the wash and scrub. So I'll have to see what's left after that and go from there. Okay. Let's take a look at these 2. Oof. Some flashing on the base, even. Haven't seen that in a while. Here's a lot of desert bases, which is going to work really well for the way I do up my bases. The yellow I use should do great for the desert. So they'll still be in line. Oof, we're going to have to heat and reset the barrel on this rifle. That's kinked, although it may bounce back on its own, being the softer resin. We'll see. This is the Scout, I'm guessing, with long arm. Not a huge amount of flash to take care of. And then Mohawk guy. The Mohawk is very nicely detailed. His sunglasses are cool. He's got a power fist. With, almost looks like a gun strapped to the top of it too. Interesting. So yeah, I think he looks cool. Really, really nice there. Again, I don't see any lack of detail from switching resins. And so far, all of these arms are plug and go, just the same as they've always been, so I don't see any issues. A lot of sprue extra there, and it's kind of up on the model too. Yeah, there's a lot of flash to take care of on this guy. Cool puppy head with sunglasses. The plates on his chest look good. I guess those might be rims or tire. Yeah, something interesting. And then double sword guy here. He looks pretty badass. Love. Ooh, look at that chunk of flash. It just peels off though, but still. A lot of detail work. Yeah. Okay, and then this is the pole doohickey. Sniper looking rifle, back banner, all nice details. A lot of flash on that rifle though. And again, whoop, Boing, boing, boing. Look at that go. And then we've got dog collar. Guessing this is going to be for the Hound Master. Got a bowl and a dog collar attachment piece. And then this looks like T45 / heavy armor chest piece there with the two-headed bear logo. So that's cool. That'll be fun to paint. Alright. The Military Command. So we've got Vulpus, Lucius, and Legate Lanius. I've never actually finished the new Vegas, so feel free to blast me in the comments. But I've heard great things about it, but every time I sit down to try and like build a mod order to play it and make it look good, I get distracted. Honestly, I'm one of the people hoping that they do a new Vegas remaster, because I'd probably enjoy playing that more. Okay, so base is pretty basic. Got a little like necklace medallion thing on the base there, and a footprint with some shell casings. Big ol' armor guy here. Oh yeah, I think he's the main like bodyguard guy of the, and his face mask looks great, but there's definitely some flash that's gotten into his eye here. That's, yeah, that's, you could probably clean that up, but that's a little annoying. Looks like came down off of the ridge and directly into his eye socket. So there's going to have to be a bit of cleanup. There's still tons of detail. Each individual thread in the headdress here, all very cool. Just a shame that got right into his eye socket. So that'll take a bit of cleanup to fix. Yep, got another power fist with a gun on the back of it. Nothing super special. And chainsaw? Oh, I guess that's a ripper. Old school ripper design. So very cool. And of course, it's got the puppy headdress. Okay, so definitely have changed to a new resin. Whether you think that's good or bad or indifferent. Details are still there. That's the important thing. Because that's what really matters when painting. Maybe a bit of extra flash, but we will get these washed and assembled and see how they look. Okay, so this is the Legion finished, assembling anyway, plus the Robo Brains and the Burned Man. I will say the softer plastic did make assembling some of these easier, especially when it's two-part hands. So you've got, you know, a weapon with two hands on it, and you have to kind of line up both. So that definitely meant that there was some flexibility. I'm not a huge fan of the mounting position on a lot of these. I think it caused problems with the shoulder joints in a lot of cases. If you get too close, it really throws it off. But the details are still there, so overall I'm pleased with the look of the models. I got doubles of everything, so everything over here, so this is the command, military command, and then this is the veterans, and then this is 2 core sets, 2 Robo Brains, and the burned guy. So let's start with the Burned Man. I'm just going to refocus on him, so we'll lose the background a bit here. There we go. So as you can see, like I said when I was unboxing them, very nicely detailed. Hopefully you can see a bit more now. I dropped the brightness on my lighting as these are so much more pale. So hopefully that picks up. You can see the good detail on the base. For the Robo Brains, the arms are pretty much the only thing you can mess with positioning. Little disappointed we don't have like a clear plexiglass head with a brain in it, but you know, the costs associated with that would probably be prohibitive. Since these are all on the same base and I've got 4 of them, what I've done is basically rotated them around. So they each face a different area on the base. That'll give them a little bit of difference, and then tufts will make up. For the wheels, they are labeled left and right, but it's worth noting that it is audience left and right. So this on this side, which would be the Robobrains' actual left side, is marked R. Little odd, but as long as you look at it going in and see that, it should be fine. And the wheels just lock in place very nicely. And the arms, like I said, they're basically, they just socket in, and you can pivot them a little bit, so you can get a little bit of variation between them. But they're, they're robots. What do you expect? There's not going to be much. Okay, so moving on to the military command. So here's the box, just kind of as a reminder. So we've got Vulpus Inculta, Lucius, and Legate Lanius. So this is the guy that when I was unboxing, I noticed that his eye had quite a lot of debris in it, so I was able to clean that up. It's kind of hard to see. Let's see if I can adjust the positioning of these lights a bit. Yeah, a little better. But yeah, there's a lot of detail on him. Love the giant sword, the faceplate with the beard. Everything looks really cool with him. He's going to be fun to paint up. One of our guys with Power Fist with a gun mounted on it. This kind of shows here what I was talking about with the, it's hard to see, but with the positioning of the arms, if you cut a little too close, they don't line up very well. So I've basically, in a lot of cases, used glue as a gap filler to kind of fix that. Doghead with his ripper here. And then moving on to the veteran wave. So we've got 4 characters, 2 dogs. First up we have the Hound Master with his double blades. Nice dog chain, bowl. So he's pretty nifty. The puppers themselves. A nice different sculpt than just, the dog meat sculpt we're used to. All the fur is very nicely textured. These bases don't have as many details in some cases. It's a lot of open dirt, so it should be pretty easy to paint. This guy with his little bird staff, and the back banner was a separate piece, and his sniper rifle, and he is standing on that T45 / heavy armor Ncr heavy armor chest. Again, the details are there, so the change in resin did not come at a cost of detail. This is the other guy with Power Fist and what looks like a little gun strapped to it. Got his mohawk going on, all nicely defined. And then finally the Scout. As I said when I was unboxing him. The rifle may need a little bit of adjustment, but otherwise all really good details. Okay, and I'm only going to pull up one of each of these for the next part, since they are all duplicates. So this is the core box. I will say the core box coming with 8 models is really nice. So just with doubling on that, I've got, what, 16, 19, 25 models. So it makes a decent force right there. So this is the big boy of the group. He's carrying some kind of heavy weapon. Of the 2 of these I got, I'm going to grab the other one simply because this was actually damaged. It's the only one out of all 25 models that had a problem. And that was that the gun had come separate from the sprue and the back piece had snapped off right there. But all of that was easily glued back in place. And no issues there. You can see he's got his fabulous coxcomb on the top of the helmet. Nice little banner detail on the base. And he's wearing a T-45 / heavy armor right arm with like chainmail underneath. So lots and lots of details there to go over. Lever action rifle guy. So this is one of the ones where it's 2-part, and you can kind of see that in the lever maybe. But so the lever itself is part of the right arm, whereas the gun is part of the left. So gluing in the left arm first and then aligning the right arm and the lever is easy to do. Since the rifle is so flexible, you can line it up a lot easier than if it was a hard plastic. You might run the risk of snapping it. So in that case, I do appreciate the softer plastic. With some of these duplicates, I was able to, depending on how they were positioned on the base, get a little difference by altering it. I'd say half of them are like that. These first ones, though, so this guy, this rock he's leaping off of didn't leave for much in difference between the two. I may wind up cutting off the gun and the knife and replacing it with, you know, something more impressive. But I do like the kukri is the only thing, so I'd hate to give that up. But again, he's got a very nice headdress piece going on, very dynamic action pose, leaping off this rock to stab someone. 2 of these guys have spears. Was it spears? Yes. In this case, this guy has the 2-handhold spear. So again, because it was flexible, it was very nice to be able to line it up without worrying about breaking it. This little wall, I wouldn't even count this as cover in game. It's so tiny if it was a piece of cover, but it's an interesting addition to the base itself. The other guy with the spear, this wasn't 2-handed, but you did have to align it. And he's got like a Ncr helmet on his base, 10mm pistol, all nicely detailed again. This is one of the ones where these last 3 are all, they're a rectangular peg slot on one leg. So to change it up, I just rotated it 180 degrees so that the bases will look a little different. But so he's swinging with his makeshift knife, sword, whatever. And all of these armors are like the variants on like catchers or football armor. All the padding is nicely detailed, ridged, all of the attachment points. This was another double handhold. So for this I mounted the left arm again, and then the axe and other hand was on the right, and being a little flexible allowed it to line up easier. And then finally we have our shotgun guy here. This was another double handhold, so again mounted one arm and then was able to position it. Did the 180 on the foot mount. Got a bit of corrugated steel on the base. But yeah, lots of details, very cool little weapons. Alright, so next up we'll go ahead and unbox the Ncr. Okay, so here we have the Ncr stuff. So we've got one each of the top brass and the Ranger Patrol, and then I have two of the core box, which I'm happy to have because the core box comes with a cool heavy guy. And I don't care how well he does, I just like cool guys in heavy armor. So I'm just going to open up one of the core boxes. We don't really need to see both of them opened up. So, as opposed to the Legion, this has 7 figures compared to 8. And then the Ranger Patrol is the same as the Command, and then the top brass is the same as the character pack, so the numbers are almost equal. Mostly heavy guy is probably balancing that. And talking about the heavy guy, let's pop him out. Everything's nice and on the sprue still. Okay, so let's see. Zoom in on him a bit. Yep. I think the camera just doesn't like having the other stuff that it can see. Just trying to focus in on that instead of on the figure. Oh, isn't this lovely? There we go. Okay. So we've got a little ammo crate that he comes with, which sits on the base. So I'm not sure why they didn't mold that in. Got the two-headed bear logo on the chest, along with a star. Typical power armor looking legs. The back obviously has a completely different setup because it isn't running off of the fusion core setup. Some flashing, no major mold lines. Oh, no, a little bit of mold line on the leg there. Easily fixed. Okay. Alright, so we got the T-45 head. He's loading a large mag into this M60 looking thing. Doesn't have like a stand piece on it. May want to mold one into that. But again, everything looks good. It's a weird piece of metal on that arm, but there we go. And then the base itself. Yeah, so the... that's interesting. The ammo case is actually optional, so since I have 2 of these, I'll probably do one with and one without. There's no slot really for the ammo case. It might fit like right there because that's kind of squared off, but it's not necessary. There's no plug hole or anything, so that's cool. Let's unpack these. Okay, so she's got, you know, again, the bear and the star on the armor, very nicely detailed. Double hand. She must have a weapon associated. Here we are. Yep, 118. So these are all numbered as well, for anyone who hasn't noticed this. So the 118A and 118B. So she's got a M16 variant. Little detail on there, but the fact that it's kind of annoying that the gun is separate and the 2 hands, I mean the arms. So instead of having the gun mounted on one arm, so what I'll probably do with gluing is mount the gun to an arm, let it dry a bit, then mount the whole assembly. See, like this guy, he's got the gun in one arm, and then the other arm will attach, so that's easy enough. He's got it slung down, so the gun is an entire piece of the body there. He's got one of those helmets, so it's 119. Yep, pretty standard base that we've been seeing throughout this release. And he's leaping off of a rock. So, tactical rocks. I hate tactical rocks. And she has like a machine pistol grease gun style weapon almost, and tossing a grenade. So she's all one piece, and then the base. So that's good. And then the other pack, let's see here. So we have our sniper guy. His gun did come loose, unfortunately. And he's got a really stumpy arm to connect to there. But again, we will mount this arm first, let it dry, and then attach the other one. We have a bit of flex. Cloak's really nice. Backpack power supply thing looks good. The helmet has a lot of good details on it. Bit of flashing under the cloak and everything, but that's pretty normal for that type of model. And the base has got like the welcome to New Vegas arrow sign on it, so that's nifty. And of course I have the promo one of him laying around somewhere. I'll have to dig back out. That'll give me an extra model for this faction. Yeah, this guy in armor, Colt, so that's all pretty good. He's got that like drill instructor type hat on, spurs, the whole 9 yards. And his base has a, looks like a cow skull embedded on it. So that's pretty nice little detail there. And this is the other version of that model. It's firing a pistol, two-handed. Lots of flash on this one though. I imagine a lot of that's going to come off in the wash. And he's got a big old handlebar mustache. So that's some nice detail on the face. I'll have to be careful to bring that out. And then more basic base with the road, dirt, and a little paver. Okay, so that's all of them from the core set. Let's go ahead and look at the Ranger Patrol next. I'm not going to adjust the lens, or else I'll probably wind up not being able to refocus it on something close again, since it's deciding to not play nice with me today. Alright, so we have in this box another guy in the Ranger armor, but he's dual pistoling it. Couple snipers, one lever action rifle, and a bayoneted carbine. So let's run through these. Alright, this is 138. So the typical two-part weapon arm that we're seeing in this. Tire on the base. This is the guy with the carbine, yelling. He's got goggles on, or glasses, I think more goggles than anything. Basic details, but all nicely crisp. Ammo pouches, belt, armor. The hat's really nice. So those are good. This rock, a tactical rock here. So we do have a slot for what I'm guessing is the ammo for this, so that'll slot in there, and then it's got sandbags and everything. And she is up against it with her sniper rifle. Looks like more of a 308 to standard bolt. Got the bandana pulled up over her mouth to cover dust. Fair amount of flashing around the legs and the gun a bit. chest piece does have the bear. It's barely noticeable, but will bring out once I add some paint to that. And her arm blocks the rest of it off. Okay. So Mr. Two Pistols here. Nope, that's 136. Is it not two pistols? Is it just a knife? Is that it? Yep, just a knife. On the box I thought it was pistols, but he's holding a knife in his other hand. Lots of flash on that Bowie knife hand. Very nice looking knife though, with the saw back on it. Revolver pistol. As with the other guy, very nice details. A lot of flash due to the cloak. So we'll have to see how much of this comes off in when cleaning it. Oh, nice. Okay, 136. So this is the guy with the anti-material rifle. He's got himself a little sandbag station and a lot of booze. The arms are separate pieces again from the weapon, so again I'll wind up attaching one of them to the gun before attaching the gun. The flex on the barrel means I may have to heat and reposition it. And there is a lot of flash on this one. Not as much on the body and the gun, but the base and the arms have a lot of it to take off. And then last one for the patrol. We've got the guy in his cowboy hat with a revolver, lever action rifle as well, and fairly normal looking base. I'm trying to decide what the... okay, that's just nails in the boards nailing it down, I guess. The lever action rifle looks good. All of his pouches, his holster, leg holster looks nice. And a little bit of flashing to remove, so nothing too bad. And finally, we have the top brass. So, let's pop this open. So these are the characters. We have Chief Hanlon, the Ranger leader, General Oliver, and Lieutenant Grubbins for the first Recon Alpha leader. And these are packaged with some, since there's not as many in the box, they put them in a little padded insert to try and give them a little added protection. Always check your bag for any leftover parts. The softer resin though, it's been nice to see that the parts haven't broken off as much. Not saying they haven't, but they haven't as much. Alright, so 130. Nice little cap and pistol, bit of flash around the neck and the legs. Some good detailing. I mean, there's not a whole much to him. Boots, clasps are all good, holsters and pouches. And then just a basic... oh, actually, there's some nice little details on this. He's got a rubble pile with mentats, possibly some kind of other drug thing, hard to tell. Yeah, so that's not too terribly bad. Nice little added details. This is 31. So he's got his pointing hand, his base, a lot of rubble and stuff, but nothing hugely detailed. He's got his sniper rifle. All of that looks good. The butt of the gun is actually part of the model, so it will actually line up there pretty easily. But he's got the arm to make sure. A little bit of flashing around the back of the legs. The good detail on the armor with the bear and the star. And then last, some nice facial details on this. The beard looks great. He's got like a radio transmitter very nicely detailed on his belt. His gun looks pretty good. pulling out his Bowie knife at the same time. Belt buckle, all nicely detailed. So yeah. So there we go. So I'll get these cleaned and then assembled, and we'll see what they look like then. Here we are with all of our NCR finished. So we're just also, I have the promo figure Ranger that came out, so it makes a good little comparison for the rest, providing they show up on camera well. So let's just take a look at our first. There we go. So this is our Ncr Ranger. You can see he's got his anti-material rifle. Lots of good details on there. He was pretty easy to put together. You know, we had the shoulder joints at the arm and everything, so that was all pretty good. Flashing wasn't too terrible once I got rid of the cloak bits. Now this is the promo one, so this guy is in the original resin. And so just look, you know, the bases have the same detail. Helmets, chest plates, all good. So comparatively, the details are all there and the same. Now, I don't dare bend this barrel more than that, but this one you can see a lot more flex. But it is straight, and it does come back to true, which means it's much less likely to break. So for me, I think I am liking the newer resin. Now, here we have one of our patrol rangers. So he's looking good. He's got his little campaign hat. Armor on these guys have, you know, some really nice detail. Lots of plates and grill pieces and stuff. And there's a knife there. And I'm thinking it might be a camelback or radiator or something, because that might be for water dispense. It's hard to tell. But yep. So he's looking pretty good. Okay, so this guy is one of our troopers. For him, the gun kind of slotted right into his chest. Looks like I still have a tiny bit of flash. There we go. Just didn't separate when I was cleaning it earlier. And he's leaping off of his little tactical raised rock there. But yeah, some nice detail work. Now, of course, here we have our heavy trooper. And he went together quite easily. The little tiny plates on the sides are on the arms and kind of line up to lock him in place, so he's really a mono pose. But all of his details look good, went together quite easily. Any extra flash came right off. Since I have two of them, one guy I did put the ammo case on. So this guy has an ammo case, the other guy does not. This was a single piece model, and she was pretty easy to put together, not much flashing, still good detail work. I mean, she's got the symbols on her chest plate. So, and she's one of the basic troopers as well. And here's our other patrol ranger from the box. I like how these guys have their little spiky spurs on the back. And he's got his handlebar mustache with his revolver here. So yep, looks good. And then the last of the troopers. Again, all the details are there. Flashing came off pretty easy. And most of the flashing did come off with cleaning. There's still a couple bits that I'll review before proceeding with priming them. Alright, so that's everything from the core box, as you can kind of see there. Next up is the patrol. So, lots of people with guns. Alrighty. So, this looks to be a trooper, kinda. Yeah, this is one of the regular troopers. He's got the trooper helmet, an AR style weapon. Lots of belt pouches, bandoliers. He's got so many belt pouches he could be from an Image comic in the 90s. Okay. And then this is another sniper type character. They got a lot of snipers. So this is our first recon sniper. He's got his beret, anti-material rifle. You can see all those details quite nicely. Then we have the civilian ranger. So revolver, lever action rifle, definite cowboy vibe. He's got his belt buckle, his hat, the whole 9 yards. All nicely detailed. He wouldn't be out of place in a Deadlands game if it weren't for the radio strapped to his side. Then we have our other ranger here. This is the veteran ranger with pistol and knife. I like the pose. I mean, the knife out. Looks like he's about to swing it. You can see all the detail work. The revolver looks good. Skull on the base. And then finally we have another trooper. This time with a long rifle. And she's got the sandbags. I like the ones they've done with the sandbags. She got sandbags and an ammo case. Which, if you're going through enough bolt action rounds like that you need that ammo case, oh boy. So that's all of them from that box. And now we have the top brass. So this is their character models. So this is Chief Hanlon. He's got his whole cowboy persona going on too. Same deal, the radio's the only thing that takes him out of an Old West game. But lots of nice details, big old bushy beard, his revolver, knife being drawn from his pouch, his little radio on his belt, all looks good. And here we have General Oliver. He's got a lot of detail. He just looks very plain. You know, his tie's good. He's got his holster for his gun, his stars on his lapel. All of that is detailed in there. He just kind of looks boring. And then last but not least is Lieutenant Grubbins. So he's got his bandana, he's ordering people to move forward while covering them. Chest plate has the bear. Rifle has all the good, nice details on it. So yeah, the switch to resin, while it is softer, like I keep saying, it's not losing any detail. So I don't see any problem with it. I think I had one model where I don't know if I cut it bad or if the resin had split a little, but either way, there's only one model out of everything. And as far as these, I only had one model have a weapon separate from the sprue. It was one of these guys, and there was no damage to it. So just like with assembling the Legion forces, it was nice to have everything stay on the sprue safer. So that is everything from the new Vegas starter wave and the promo model, all unboxed and assembled. Next up, we may look at painting some of this.